Issue 181. Sonic and Tails in the Tornado 2, I'm glad they have the best design of the tornado by the way, are contacted by Nicole, who says that she'll be monitoring them from the city near a very worried Julie, and Sally, who is contacting Down Under Freedom Fighters for some reason. Sally says that something is scrambling everything she sends out, and then tries to contact Monkey Khan, because she had been in contact with him the whole time for some reason. When did that happen? Dimitri says it has to be Enerjack, complains Angel Island is floating right towards them, and naturally is just as annoyed as I am that the heroes should have acted the minute he came to them for help. It's weird when Dimitri is the best audience surrogate in the situation. Nicole says in annoyance that they'll be well prepared, and the probe she sent to Angel Island has survived. Julie says that she's seeing the Dingo City through the probe, and Enerjack attacks the Dingoes because their crimes against the Echidnas have been many. He sends them far away, telling them to learn humility as they wander the desert with their former leader. So that's what happened to Stryker. I guess he didn't want to help Eggman, so he escaped to the desert. Enerjack sure is being merciful by not just killing all of them. General Cage is way too overconfident in front of Enerjack despite what he just saw, while revealing that General Stryker was actually his father, and that he's crushed lots of echidnas under his boot. All the more reason for me to look forward to him getting what he deserves. Enerjack says that his fate is to vanish along with this wretched city. Good riddance. Nicole actually points out that Sonic and Tails are doing poorly because of this, even though there was nothing they could have done. And she explains that Enerjack is moving to confront the Dark Legion. Why? What's he got against them? Or at least most of them. I guess they're antagonistic against him because they think he's creepy too. Sonic tells Nicole through his Bluetooth phone that he's heading for the Chaos Chamber with Tails, who flies with him saying that they should joke less and hurry more. Great chemistry these friends have here. Why can't they do both? Enerjack is hit by lasers pointlessly as the leader of the Frost Legion says he wants to show him the penalty for stealing his birthright. That can't be Kragok, who died. So who is this guy? Why does he think it's his birthright? Enerjack attacks him saying that he never wanted his power and was proud of who he once was, and admits it is a crime that you have been reduced to this. He tells him to be whole once more, Remington, and restores his body and memories to their natural state. Enerjack tells Remington that he's liberating him from his cybernetic parts, which he calls unnatural. I couldn't tell that this was Remington because he wasn't wearing his typical outfit. That was awful nice of him to do. I thought for sure Enerjack was just gonna kill him for the evils. Why did they bother brainwashing Remington like this anyways? Wouldn't they have been more comfortable with having a native of their tribe be the ruler? And I thought Remington was captured in the egg grapes by the hunter and then sent to the Zone of Silence by Ixis, like all the other echidnas in the egg grapes. Did Feist release him from the zone just to be nice? Along with everyone else there? Then Enerjack says that he's going to remove the cybernetics of every other Dark Legionnaire, as I hope that him actually wanting to do this will be explained, and almost all of them are unhappy because it's not unnatural to better yourself. Almost all of them though, one of them is smiling for the sake of variety. It's weird that a few of the echidnas aren't red, like they're clearly from Albion. Did the Dark Legion go to Albion to get recruits, or did the people leave the safety of Albion to go to the Dark Legion for some reason? I really don't understand why it was written that this would happen to all these guys, since their cybernetics, as ugly as they look on them, were good for differentiating their designs from Knuckles more. Enerjack says that everyone who agrees with Landau can stay stranded here, while those thankful for his blessing will be returned home, to Albion for some weird reason. Dimitri panics that he's brutalizing his people when it's not like he's hurting them or killing them or anything. He's being way less of a villain than he could be. Although I guess Dimitri views it as tantamount to him removing their internal organs or something. They're still worried though, and Sally says that there's one channel that they still haven't tried yet, after Nicole stutters her name in fear. Dimitri asks Nicole why she can't just construct a weapon to strike now when we have time, and Nicole's too self-righteous to devote the nannies to weapons of any kind. At least she justifies it by saying that her friends are on the island right now. They get hurt by a missile strike. Nicole looks worried after Julie asks if they found Knuckles yet, and she explains that Sonic and Tails had some trouble getting into the Chaos Chamber. Julie's naturally worried because the last time Knuckles faced Enerjack he was vaporized, and this time there aren't any ancient walkers to bail him out. Dimitri then says in annoyance that the heroes aren't helping him well enough for his liking, and wants to get the help of a more powerful side instead, putting heroes in sarcastic quotation marks for some weird reason. Shouldn't he know that Eggman's evil because he pollutes the planet and stuff, and therefore they're heroes? Rouge says to Sally that she can barely understand her on the other line. Nicole says that she'll use her technology powers to strengthen the signal, At least her having nanites makes her magical bullshit powers actually make sense. I hope she had them all along. Nanites work on the microscopic level, so they could do whatever you wanted. And that's pretty much how I imagine magic to work anyways, like changing molecules to make stuff. Rouge agrees to send the newest and best agent of hers, which is a guy, so it's not her. Shadow? Nicole puts her hands on Sally's shoulder to comfort her, saying that they at least got through to somebody. Sonic then calls, telling them that Knuckles isn't in the Chaos Chamber, and leaves with Benitovis's normal design, smirking that Sonic somehow didn't notice him there by scent or something. That was convenient for him. And I see Lara Lee still looks just as off-model as ever. I expected better of the Ian Flynn issues. Too bad, I used to like her. She also seems to have the Dark Legion kind of cyborg hair thing. I know she was helped by them with the prison camp liberation, but still. Enerjack tells the echidnas who are standing in front of mere huts that the technology they once clung to has been taken from them by the Dingo regime. He then sends all of the echidnas to Albion in a misguided effort to make things right. Did he go to Albion and get convinced of this goal? Doesn't he realize that medical technology alone justifies technology as something you should supposedly cling to? Why would a Dark Legion Technomage be convinced of this anti-technology goal in the first place? Fortunately, this is all explained. Enerjack then says that with Angel Island stabilized, as in made devoid of people except for the dingoes, which you think would really anger an echidna, he's going to talk to someone who is spying on him, and destroys Nicole's probe as she screams, seemingly in pain, saying that he's very disappointed in her and should have known better. Also, he teleports away before Sonic could spin dash him at the speed of sound, because he's just that powerful, I guess. Sonic lampshades that he hates looking slow, and Nicole tells Sonic that Enerjack is just outside the city gates and he has to get back home. Sonic annoys me by being so arrogant that he just assumes he'll beat Enerjack, which is genre savvy of him, but too much. It kind of breaks suspension of disbelief a little. Sally then tells the heroes to go to the front, the royal guards to secure the royalty, and everyone else to take shelter. As Julie Sue cries, looking bitter because she thinks Knuckles is gone, and Nicole fails to keep Enerjack from coming to the city, Enerjack says that he means them no harm, and has come to make things right. Julie says she'll never forgive him for whatever he did to Knuckles and wants revenge. Then Knuckles takes off the Enerjack helmet. Oh, this came as a genuine surprise to me. Enerjack was Knuckles in disguise the whole time, and he doesn't look evilly brainwashed either. When I first came into this comic, I knew about the Green Knuckles thing, and also knew about Knuckles' Enerjack thing. So, I assumed that Knuckles became Enerjack when he was Green Knuckles. I got my wires crossed there. So, by the time I got to this point, this all came as a genuine surprise. I thought he would only be evilly brainwashed when he was green. So, why did he send the echidnas to Albion against their will then? Did Benitovis manipulate him that much? I get vanishing the Dingo City and getting rid of the Cybernetics of the Dark Legion, but the other thing's stupid since he was born and raised on Angel Island and has no attachment to Albion. Although since Albion wasn't attacked by Eggman ever, somehow, it does actually make sense that he'd think the echidnas were safer there. I wish he explained that when he sent them there though. Also, did Knuckles' voice get disguised or something? Because sure, there's plenty of similar voices in the world, but Knuckles' closest friends should have been able to recognize his voice. In the next story, Archimedes agonizes and angst unnecessarily over how he thinks Knuckles has totally failed him when he didn't really do anything wrong, and he reflects on how every guardian he trained was basically cursed. Saber appears to have fallen in the line of duty, and Block seems so angry and lost, and Knuckles has supposedly been corrupted. He then thinks back to when Scourge and Sergeant Simeon had gotten the jump on Knuckles in front of him, and Knuckles was turned over to the Flame and Frost Legions. Archimedes was outnumbered, so he couldn't really do anything. He had followed him into the Chaos Chamber, where he met up with an amnesiac Remington, who Benitovis had saved from the egg rapes. Benitovis says that he did all he could to restore his body and mind, but I'm sure he just brainwashed him with a cybernetic. Although it is possible that he just brainwashed him the more realistic cult way instead, by just telling him he's someone he's not, and Eggman really did take away his mind and stuff to the Life Drainer. Benitovis says that they need all the help they can get. He tells Knuckles, who looks a little horrified, that no thanks to the Guardians, 90% of the echidnas have been destroyed by Eggman. Wow, the writer really wants the comic to be as much like the games as possible, huh? Trying to make the echidnas rare just because the games have it that way. Originality is a good thing, you know. Although I do support this change myself, since I'm used to the games, but Isn't this a little dark? Then Finidvis says that Albion is now Wasteland. I mean, is he lying to manipulate him? If it's true, that would explain why Knuckles sent Echidnas to Albion to repopulate it. But if Eggman can just destroy Albion that easily, then that really brings up the giant plot hole of why Robotnik didn't do that decades ago. Leander says that because of the death of thousands of Echidnas, Finidvis had made her call a truce with the Frost Legion so he could give them the power to crush Eggman. Okay, so how is this evil at all? Knuckles, just as Finidvis predicted, says that he'll command the Master Emerald himself. Remington complains that he'll take all the power for himself, implying that he honestly expected him to share, and Leander calls Finidvis a traitor. What's the big deal? If only he actually did crush Eggman in the state, then this would all be for the greater good, and she'd look like an idiot for even objecting to it. Why does Leander say that she let Finidvis into the Legion as if he wasn't always in it? I mean, I always assumed he was in it. He's a technomage. How did he become a technomage without them? Albion scientists experimenting on him? Fortunately, this is also explained. He reminds Knuckles that the last time he had this kind of power, he couldn't control it and almost destroyed everything. And then tells him that he can help him mold the power to something he can control, and they'll set everything right. Again, this looks like it's gonna be good. What's the problem? Archimedes couldn't reach out to Knuckles with his telepathy and arbitrarily object because Knuckles' mind was scrambled by Finidvis' evil hex. So was Knuckles brainwashed the whole time he was dressed up like a Jack? Because he was actually not that different from how I'd expect him to anyways in that situation. I mean, if he was entirely controlled by Finidvis, he would have just killed all those people, instead of, like, being merciful. This issue is by Ian Flynn, and obviously I loved it. I seem to enjoy any story with Scourge or Finidvis in it. They're just great characters to watch. The main story has Knuckles as Enerjack use his power to send the Echidnas to Albion, make the Dingoes wander the desert like Stryker with their city gone as a punishment, and get rid of the Cybernetics of the Dark Legion. Okay, so these are all changes, but nothing really evil. The Echidnas are safer in Albion, at least I thought they were until Finidvis said in the next story that Albion was made a wasteland. That just brings up the huge question of why Robotnik didn't destroy Albion way earlier if he could just do that so easily. I thought it was supposed to be a safe haven. Knuckles' role came as a genuine surprise to me. It was cool. It's just annoying that he's portrayed so much as the villain here when he didn't even hurt anyone. I mean, it feels really forced. I thought he'd kill Remington, for example. Not bring him back to normal. But they don't even mention that. They could have commended him on the fact that he was nice enough to do that. In the second story, it's Archimedes angsting about how Knuckles ended up in this horrible way through Finidvis' possible lying. I mean, the concept that Echidnas are more rare now is one that resonates with me as a game fan, but it wasn't necessary at all. Maybe bad stuff will happen with Knuckles later, but right now I don't see a problem. He hasn't done anything really evil, so it's just annoying that he's being treated like the bad guy.